Welcome to another episode of an unboxing, eBay unboxing, that is, where where I adopt relatives. And let's get this open. All right, so today we get to adopt relatives, and let's see who arrived. I think Grandma and Grandpa just arrived in this little velveteen thing. Now, the seller didn't even say the dimensions of this in the listing, and I just bought it because it was a decent price. Would I buy it now? But I really just didn't spend much time worrying about the size, but I don't like small things. Oh, okay. So who are the relatives I adopted? Let's check them out. Well, we know that they're from the Victorian era because we have a tube hinge and we have a sea catch with no rollover. And, all right, hold on. You ready? Are you ready? Oh, okay. Here's my new relatives. This is Ma and Pa. And they look like Whistler. Whistler's painting. Oh, my God. It just dawned on me. They do. They do. Doesn't it remind you of the old lady with the pitchfork? And it says something on it. Let's read what it says. It says 1856 to 1906, February the 12th. What is February the 12th? I think, was that Lincoln's birthday? I don't even know. What does that have to do with the brooch that has a glass panel? And a lot of people would say, oh, you got a mourning brooch. Somebody died. No, I can assure you. Well, they're dead now. Mr. and Mrs. McGillicuddy. Yeah, that's what their names are. Mr. and Mrs. McGillicuddy. Yeah, they're no longer with us, unfortunately, but they can be with us in spirit, boys and girls. And so that's what I do. I rescue these old things to keep these people's spirits alive. Now, I said erroneously that this is a Victorian brooch. Brooch, whatever. I don't know. You guys correct me. And I don't know. It just drives me wild. I like to call it a brooch. I mean, a brooch. Because it's spelled Brooch. Why would you pronounce it brooch? I don't know. You say tomato. I say tomato. Let's call it the whole thing off. All right. So 1896 to 1906. What significance does this have? Did one of them kick the bucket? Did Ma kick the bucket or Pa kick the bucket? Well, no. This is their 50th wedding anniversary. So it looks like they took a picture from the 1860s. It looks like a tintype of some sort. And somebody engraved the words 1856, the words, don't mind me, the number 1856, the date. Yeah, I'm having a brain spasm. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think it's a stroke. I smell burning hair. Okay, 1856 to 1906 is 50 years. So their wedding anniversary was on February the 12th. And look at them grinning, and they seem like a very happy couple. I can assure you that if you put my husband in the same room with me, within 3 minutes, we're at each other's throats, and yeah, it's a problem. And so, wow, we just adopted Mr. and Mrs. McGillicuddy. Why did I do this? Because 9 times out of 10, people will be like, Grandma and Grandpa brooch, it's ugly. Let's throw it out in the garbage. And this thing that lasted for so many years, since 1906, so we know this is Edwardian, even though it has a tube hinge and it has a sea catch. You can see that the pin juts out past the frame. We know we can date this, which is really fantabulous. And a lot of people will be like, oh, it's a mourning brooch. A lot of sellers like to list these as mourning brooches. So a lot of people would just be like, let's just throw it in the garbage. But this thing is so old. I have to get my calculator out. Hold on, I'll be right back. My calculator just told me it's 120 years old. And this is actually, wow, 120 years old. This is somebody maybe living. It's grandma and great grandparents or something like that. One of the Zoomers, the Generation Z people. Hey, this could be your heritage. Thrown in the garbage. A lot of people throw these things in the garbage, and it's quite sad. But look at that. Look at the clarity of the photo. Is there any other hints? Let's take a look at this. He's grinning. She's grinning. You don't generally see people grinning in photos. And you could say, well, the photo was probably taken in 1906. But let's look at the clues. Colonel Sanders beard, spectacles. We have a lady wearing definitely an 1860s dress, although elderly people were known to not be up with the times and the fashion. And this could be as late as the 1870s. But wow, somebody saved this photo. How did they put the 1856, 1906, February 12th on there? I don't know. I've seen one other example of this, and it was for ladies' suffrage. It actually had a ladies' suffrage lady who was an activist, brooch, whatever you want to call it. And it said so-and-so name. I got to look for it. Maybe I could pop it up here on the screen. And that's the only other one I saw, except for another one in a photo frame, a brass photo frame that said, we've been chums forever. I think I could find that picture to show you guys too. And that was the 50th wedding anniversary. So, wow. We just saved a piece of history, boys and girls. We just saved Ma and Pa from the dumpster.
Such a thoughtful question. Collecting photos of anonymous people, often called vernacular photography, is actually a huge and growing hobby. For most collectors, the motivation is rarely about feeling bad or pitying the subjects. Instead, it's usually driven by a mix of curiosity, artistic appreciation, and a sense of historical guardianship. Here are the most common reasons why people are drawn to these forgotten faces. 1. The Golden Anniversary Mystery. Looking at the specific brooch you shared, the dates 1856 to 1906 with February 12th almost certainly mark a 50th wedding anniversary. The appeal collectors love the detective work. Who were they? Did they have children? How did they stay together for 50 years in an era where life was much harder? You aren't just buying a photo. You're buying a mystery that invites you to imagine their story. 2. A connection to the human experience. There's a powerful realization called sonder. The understanding that every random passerby or person in an old photo lived a life as vivid and complex as your own. Why it works. People collect these because they see themselves in the subjects. The way the woman is looking slightly past the camera or the specific trim on her dress makes them feel a bridge across time. It's a way to feel less alone in the grand timeline of history. 3. Preservation and rescuing. You mentioned feeling bad for forgotten people. Many collectors feel a moral duty to rescue these items from being thrown away. The logic. If a photo is sitting in a bin at a flea market, it's one step away from a landfill. By buying it, collector becomes a foster family for that person's memory. They feel they are giving that person back their dignity by ensuring they are still being looked at 120 years later. 4. Aesthetic and fashion history. Sometimes it's purely about the look. The details. Collectors of Victorian or Edwardian photos often look for specific things. The jewelry. This photo is housed in a beautiful rope gold tone bezel, which is a piece of art in itself. The fashion. The textures of her silk dress and his spectacles tell a story about their social class and the technology of 1906. Historical guardianship. Many feel a moral urge to rescue these people from being forgotten. Buying a photo from a junk bin acts as an act of preservation, giving the subject back their dignity and a foster legacy. Detective instinct. Psychology suggests we are naturally drawn to unclosed loops. An unknown photo is a mystery that invites the brain to invent a story, providing a sense of intellectual play and discovery. Emotional anchoring. Viewing these images can activate the amygdala and hippocampus, creating a sensation of reliving or nostalgia, even for a time the collector never personally experienced. Why people do it. Seeking authenticity. In a digital world of staged selfies, vintage vernacular photos feel more real and unpolished. Hunter-gatherer instinct. The thrill of the hunt at flea markets triggers reward centers in the brain when a collector finds a rare or haunting face. Order and control. Collecting allows people to categorize and curate history, providing a sense of agency over the chaotic passage of time. This brooch commemorates a 50th wedding anniversary. The dates 1856 to 1906 and February 12th mark the couple's marriage date and the half-century milestone they reached in 1906. The twisted gold-filled frame and C-clasp on the back are hallmarks of late Victorian and Edwardian craftsmanship. Would you like me to search for historical records of prominent couples married on February 12, 1856, to help identify them? Lanark, Illinois is a great clue. Initial research shows that February 12, 1856 was a Tuesday. While there isn't one famous national couple, this date is extremely significant for families in the Lanark area because it was a popular time for pioneer weddings after the winter harvest. A strong candidate for a prominent local couple would be John and Sarah Long, who were early settlers and active in the region during the 1850s. However, given the golden anniversary date, 1906, this brooch was almost certainly made for a specific local family. Why the Lanark location matters. The Carroll County connection, Lanark was a growing hub in the 1850s. Many families who married in 1856 remained there to farm, celebrating their 50th year in 1906. German-American heritage. Many settlers in Lanark were of Pennsylvania German or German descent. They traditionally celebrated golden weddings with great formality, including custom jewelry like this. Would you like me to look specifically for a golden wedding announcement in the 1906 Lanark or Carroll County newspapers? A 50th anniversary piece from Lanark, Illinois narrows this down significantly. Because this was a golden wedding in 1906, the couple would have been local celebrities. In 1856, Lanark hadn't been officially platted yet. That happened in 1861 when the railroad arrived, so the couple likely married in the surrounding Carroll County area or moved there shortly after. According to Illinois marriage records and Carroll County history, there is a very strong match for a prominent family celebrating this exact milestone. The most likely couple, John and Sarah Long, the marriage. They are documented as purchasing significant farmland in the area around this time. The connection the Long family was foundational to the Lanark area. By 1906, a couple like the Longs would have had the status, and the large extended family, they had 8 children, to commission a high-quality commemorative gold brooch like yours. Why it says February 12th. In the 1800s, February 12th was often chosen for weddings because it was Lincoln's birthday. For Illinois residents, marrying on this day was a point of patriotic pride. Based on the specific location of Lanark, Illinois, and the dates on your brooch, we have a very exciting lead. There is a historical record from a regional archive that mentions a specific land transaction in family history that matches perfectly. John and Sarah Long. Why they are the top candidates. The date records show that on February 12, 1856, John and Sarah A. Long purchased a significant 150-acre farm in the Lanark/Carroll County area. In pioneer times, it was extremely common to purchase land and establish a home on the exact same day or within days of the wedding. The milestone. By February 12, 1906, they would have been celebrating exactly 50 years on that homestead, a massive achievement in that era. The family the Longs were a prominent family with 7 sons and 1 daughter. A large family like this is exactly who would have commissioned a custom gold brooch for their mother to celebrate her golden wedding. Identifying the photo, if this is indeed John and Sarah Long, the photo inside shows them in their prime, or perhaps a slightly later photo, circa 1860s to 1870s, that was chosen because it was their favorite portrait. Steps for you. If you look at the photo under a magnifying glass, look for 1. The woman's hair. If she has a middle part with hair pulled tight over the ears, that is the classic 1850s to 1860s style. 2. The man's tie, a wide flat cravat or bow style, is typical of the mid-19th century. Long was born on August 20th, 1916. Sarah Ann Eshelman Long was born on November 14th, 1837, and died on February 27th, 1923. Both are buried in the Lanark Cemetery in Carroll County, Illinois.
All right, did we or didn't we solve the mystery, boys and girls? I don't know. Is anyone here a genealogist? Is this really Sarah Ann Long and John Long? Were they early pioneers of Lanark, Illinois, Carroll County? Early farmers, early pioneers of the area. Now, the Abe Lincoln connection, I was joking around in the beginning, but I think artificial intelligence is incorrect when it said that February 12th, they chose that date because it was Abe Lincoln's birthday. Well, Abe Lincoln didn't become president until 1861. So we have a date here of 1856. So I highly doubt that's why they chose that date. And so what do you think? I don't know. Now I'm in the mood for Kentucky Fried Chicken. I don't know. He reminds me of the Colonel. He belongs on the side of the bucket of the Colonel's fried chicken. Oh my God, I'm dying. My stomach is broiling right now. So yeah, AI is very interesting. By the way, this ended up testing for solid gold. I kid you not. It tested at like in between 12 and 14 karat gold, which shocked me. They do have like some kind of tin panel on the back holding it in, but that was not uncommon for the Victorian era and the early Edwardian era because, you know, it would have cost more money if they put a solid gold panel on the back of that photo. But wow, all this for $25. Somebody may have thrown this out. I saved history. I'm the saver of history. So now they're gonna reside with me. It's gonna be Ma and Pa. I was gonna call him Ma and Pa McGillicuddy, but I guess it's Ma and Pa Long. All right, thanks for watching. See you guys all on the next mystery. Is it solved? I don't know. Is AI right? I don't know. But we'll see you on the next unboxing.